A federal court has sentenced a Manhattan man to 60 years in prison after he led a conspiracy to produce child pornography. K-Man's Bernie Fancella reports.
Joel Womochel, 39, a former Burns police chief, was sentenced by U.S. District Court John Brooms on March 28th for 2 counts of conspiracy to commit sexual exploitation of a child and production of child pornography. Brooms ordered Womochel to serve a term of 30 years for each count, running consecutively for a total of 60 years, with a restitution of $529,000. He also recommended Womochel be held in a facility with a sex offender management program. According to a Thursday news release, Womochel led 2 separate conspiracies to commit sexual exploitation of a child involving 3 additional defendants, Taylor Mullen, Jessica Quabe, and Denise Sandman Yoder. The final defendant, 33-year-old Taylor Mullen of Seneca, was sentenced Thursday for his involvement after pleading guilty to the same charge. He was ordered to serve 30 years in prison. An affidavit alleged Quabe and Mullen produced the videos at Womochel's direction at their home in Council Grove. Womochel faced almost 3 dozen charges at one point. He resigned as police chief in August 2023. For News Radio KMAN, I'm Bernie Fancella.
A St. Mary's woman was seriously injured Saturday in an accident in Jackson County. The Kansas Highway Patrol says 56-year-old Carol Jacobs was driving westbound on a rural county road near Highway 75 when she ran a stop sign and struck another vehicle driven by 31-year-old Sierra Phillips. Jacobs was transported to Stormont Vale Hospital in Topeka with suspected serious injuries. Phillips had 5 children under the age of 10 in the vehicle with her. All 6 were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. One person was injured Friday in a work zone crash on I-70 in Geary County. The Kansas Highway Patrol says a Toyota Highlander was eastbound around 9:15 Friday evening near milepost 301 when the driver swerved to avoid an animal in the road. That caused a trailing semi-truck to strike the Highlander from behind. The roadway was down to a single lane of traffic due to construction. The 24-year-old semi-driver from Mississippi was transported to a local hospital with only a minor injury. The 64-year-old driver of the other vehicle, identified as Jeffrey Tanner of Manhattan, was not injured. Artists showcased their talent and vision at Manhattan's Downtown Art Walk Saturday. The popular event brought downtown businesses and local artists together for an evening of creativity, food, and exposure, including artist Donna Rose.
I've been showing in Manhattan in various places for years and years, but this is the first time I've done the Downtown Art Walk. I've done this particular art walk is my first time.
Artist Sherry Waters says inspiration for art can come from anywhere, using one of her pieces as an example.
That was an F5 tornado in Greensburg, Kansas, some years ago, but it totally wiped out the whole city. There was a remaining tree in the shape of a cross, and then there was another tree that had an American flag hanging off of it, just battered and torn and dirty. And so I combined those 2 together.
The Art Walk, sponsored by Downtown Manhattan Incorporated. Spring cleanup begins today in Manhattan. City of Manhattan Public Information Officer Andrew Lawson offering some tips for residents.
We're asking people if they have sort of bundled sticks, branches, that kind of thing, if they could keep that all parallel to the curb. It's not something we've really pointed out before, but it would really speed up the pickup process for us.
A map of each day's pickup areas can be found on the city's website.
Get ready for Netflix's gripping new medical drama, Pulse. Set in a cutting-edge Miami trauma center, third-year resident Dr. Danny Sims is unexpectedly thrust into a promotion when beloved chief resident Dr. Xander Phillips gets suspended. Then, with the emotional and physical stakes at their highest, a storm will push the hospital and its residents to their limits. Witness how life can change in a heartbeat when you're operating under pressure. Watch Pulse, only on Netflix.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Upgrade your business with Shopify, home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning fewer carts going abandoned and more sales going cha-ching. So if you're into growing your business, get a commerce platform that's ready to sell wherever your customers are. Visit Shopify.com to upgrade your selling today.
Good morning, I'm Troy Coverdale with your sports headlines. With a third straight round of 4 under 68 on Saturday, K-State senior women's golfer Carla Burnett held off the best amateurs in the world to take home the title at the Augusta National Women's Amateur with a 54-hole score of 12 under at the historic Augusta National Golf Club. Burnett stayed 1 shot clear of 16-year-old Asterisk Talley, who also went 4 under on the day, while finishing 3 shots ahead of defending champion Florida State's Lottie Wood. K-State women's basketball losing another pair to the transfer portal on Friday. Sophomore guard Ziana Walker and freshman guard Finley Onstead entered into the portal that day. Onstead redshirted last season, while Walker returned to the Cats a season ago, setting a career high for points, blocks, and steals this year, while being named to the All-Big 12 defensive team. Paige Beckers, Ezzie Fudd, and Sarah Strong led the way as UConn returned to the top of college basketball on the women's bracket, rolling to an 82-59 national championship victory over South Carolina. Tonight, Coach Calvin Sampson's Houston squad of defenders and deniers face Florida for the national crown. Coverage on News Radio KMAN gets underway at 5. Oklahoma State claimed both games of a doubleheader over K-State in Stillwater yesterday, taking the middle game of the weekend series 7-0, then 10-2 in the finale. The Cats step out of conference play tomorrow night, hosting Missouri State at Tointon Family Stadium. Chris Bubich took a shutout into the 7th. The Royals won their first series of the season with a 4-1 win over the Orioles. Have a great day. I'm Troy Coverdale.